What is going on, everybody? And welcome back to the LMS Sports Network. Today we're breaking down two huge playoff games from last night, the Timberwolves versus Spurs, Game 3, and Knicks versus 76ers, Game 3. Both games had superstar performances, drama, momentum swings, and major series implications. So let's get into it. First game, Timberwolves versus Spurs, Game 3. This game was absolute chaos in the best possible way. The Spurs came out aggressive immediately and built a huge early lead. Minnesota honestly looked rattled early by San Antonio's pace and physicality, but Anthony Edwards hitting that first quarter buzzer beater completely shifted the energy in the building, and from there, this game became a playoff war. Things got heated constantly, players were talking, coaches were frustrated, even refs got involved in the tension. And then we got one of the best star battles of the playoffs so far. Anthony Edwards, 32 points, 14 rebounds, and 6 assists. And then Victor Wembanyama had a huge performance, 39 points, 15 rebounds, 5 blocks, off of 72% shooting. Wemby looked unstoppable offensively while still controlling the paint defensively. Every time Minnesota attacked inside, they had to think twice. Did this feel like Wemby's playoff arrival game? To me, I truly think so. Like, there's been a lot of games where he's struggled from three, or like he's just had a good defensive game mostly. He hasn't really had like the offensive spark moments in the series, at least. So like the fact that he was able to get a lot of blocks and he was able to shoot from three, he took over inside. Like it was crazy. Uh, he's just so impossible to guard. Like the Timberwolves, they tried throwing Rudy on him, and Rudy just like he can't keep up with him. Or if you throw like Nas or Julius on him, like then there's a size difference. Like there's no good way to guard Wemby just because he's so big. He's 7'5" and he can move like he's a small forward or a power forward. It's just so incredible. Like it's amazing. And like as a Timberwolves fan, it's so frustrating, but it's also so cool to watch. But moving on, Anthony Edwards, he's continuing to be a top playoff performer. He has had some really big leadership moments, energy swings, big shots, and just carrying the offensive load, even with being like he was literally injured. He had a knee injury a week and a half ago to 2 weeks, and then before that he was even dealing with like runner's knee issues. Like it's also just so incredible on Anthony Edwards too, of how he's been able to show up for the Timberwolves this far into the playoffs. So like this series, even though it feels like the series is so much farther than it actually is, especially after the Spurs won 2 straight games. But at the same time, like the star power in the series is just amazing. Like I can only imagine if, like, say, like either team, if either team wins this series, how the Western Conference Finals is going to be. It's going to be amazing. And then moving on, like the Spurs' confidence level has changed. Like I truly think the way that the Spurs have approached this series has prepared them to move past the series and potentially put up a fight, if not win against the Thunder next series. And you're just seeing a young team grow up in real time. Like I wasn't super confident if the Spurs were to go to the Western Conference Finals that they would even like put up a fight against the Thunder. The Thunder are just so good defensively. They're so like they just run and their transition is really good. Like they're just such a well-rounded team. And the Spurs this playoffs, they have almost became that well-rounded team where they can run in transition. They're creating steals. They're getting whistles. Whether it and people are going to say a lot about the whistle, which is okay. Like as a Timberwolves fan, I was frustrated last night with the whistle. But that's just a part of the game at the same time. Like it's just not going to go your way all the time. It's not going to the whistle it's going to depend on the game, depending on who you're playing. Like it really depends. So it's just not something that I try to get too hung up with, is like the refs or the whistles. Like it is what it is. It's a part of the game. Yeah, and then like again, moving on, the Wolves' late game execution. They'd had a lot of issues. They rushed offensively. They tried to like too much hero ball was being played. Not enough adjustments defensively against Wemby, and they should have been attacking Wemby more because he had not turnovers. He had 5 fouls like going into late into the not late late into like the third, early fourth. Like he had 5 fouls. They should have been going at Wemby trying to get him to foul out. That'd have been such a huge momentum change for the Timberwolves if they would have just attacked him and tried to get him to foul out. Like that would have been such a momentum shift for them. And then they just need more consistent secondary scoring. Like Julius should be that. But then he gets into he needs to be the hero. He needs to be taking these ridiculous shots. Uh, it would just be so nice if Julius got back to like early to mid season where he was playing team ball. He was still getting like 15 to 20 points a game. He was getting triple doubles almost nightly for like a good month straight. If he wasn't getting triple doubles, it was at least pretty close. And like we just haven't seen that Julius since probably at least the All-Star break. So it's really unfortunate for the Timberwolves that they haven't been able to have that secondary scoring. And like Jaden, he's good. He's been really good this playoffs, but then he kind of fell flat. He shot like 5 for 21. That's just not something you need out of a star player when it comes to the playoffs. The physicality has been amazing this series, but they're also playing very emotional too, which is also hurting them, which leads into all of the trash talk that has been in play in this series, last series. It's a thing for the Timberwolves always. It can get them in trouble sometimes. And it even happened to get a ref involved. Had Tony Brothers in Finch's face last night. We had McDaniels and Stephon Castle get heated last night after Dylan Harper was down with an injury. There was coaches getting heated, and like I said, there was ref involvement. Yeah, it was a crazy game last night. How does Minnesota slow Wemby down? They went away from their game one game plan, and they like offensively and defensively. And then it also doesn't help that Wemby has been heating up. So I think it's a little too late to try to even back to your game one game plan. But at the same time, like you have to slow down Wemby if you even want to try to win this series. Like there's just no way that you can let Wemby score at will like he did, get to the line at will. Like he's just getting to his spots. And that was just one thing that in game one he wasn't able to do. He was forced to shoot, and he wasn't looking comfortable shooting either. And now he's shooting what he wants, which is not a good thing. And the Spurs continue to attack in transition. The Wolves had some pretty bad turnovers, and just even just when they would miss, they just wouldn't be getting back on defense, and it really hurt them. And then the importance of role players too really hurt the Timberwolves too. Like they went down to an 8-man rotation last night after Ayo and Ant are fully back. Ant had like 41 minutes. Ayo had some pretty normal minutes. They completely cut Bones Highland, Kyle Anderson, which I'm not necessarily too mad about Kyle Anderson not getting minutes, but Bones Highland could have gotten some minutes. Get him on the floor. Like he's kind of like one of those microwave players that if you throw on there, he's gonna get you some points, or at least create some points. Now heading into game 4, this series suddenly feels completely different. I think the Spurs have the series maybe not won, but it feels pretty close to being won. But I just don't get too, like, the Spurs shouldn't get too comfortable because the Wolves do play good with their backs against the wall. That's all I have to say. Then the next game I have is the Knicks versus 76ers. The Knicks take a 3-0 lead and just a win away from winning the series. The Knicks have been very physical on defense, and the Sixers haven't been able to respond well. And like I said in a previous episode, Jalen Brunson continues to be the best player on the court in the series, attacking mismatches, getting to his spots, and simply making the right reads. The Knicks bench has been great and always been able to get the Sixers problems. They've been able to give the Sixers problems this series. Josh Hart doing what he does best, defending and rebounding. And he's also been hitting some really big threes, pushing the pace in transition. And then speaking of rebounding, the Knicks have been destroying the Sixers on the offensive board. Like, it is not even close. And then the Sixers, they've been just like super slow and predictable this series. Like, that's all I really got for the Sixers. Like, they just, like, and then it doesn't really help that that Embiid's been hurt. Yeah, the Knicks have just really been taking advantage of all the mistakes and just like literally anything that the Knicks can take advantage of. Like, even the injuries, like they're playing really good basketball. The Sixers are also turning the ball over a lot, allowing the Knicks to even get in transition to get these easy buckets. Other than that, I don't really have too much else for this Knicks Sixers series. It's like, it's basically all already over, especially after Embiid's been kind of hurt again. So if I had to like make a prediction, not a very like hot take or anything, but I do see the Knicks closing out this series in Game 4. And then moving on to the Eastern Conference Finals to play either the Pistons or the Cavs. And if right now, I would have to say the Knicks are going to make it to the finals. Now in the West, it's a little bit more up in the air. But for sure, I have the Knicks going to the finals to either probably play the Thunder or Spurs. Because I don't really see the Lakers or Timberwolves making a comeback in either of the series. All right, that's going to wrap up today's episode of LMS Sports Network. And if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to follow for more playoff reactions, sports breakdowns, and podcast content every single day.
Lace 'em up, let's go. Tip off time, you're locked in for the show.